Welcome to Lioness Rising podcast, your podcast for sacred business development and soul wealth ascension. And today I have, oh my God, it's going to be super juicy. A special guest, Caroline Besses. She's a German coach, but we also going to speak in English, so you can hire her for the English speaking. And basically, what she does, she is an intuitive mentor with a little pinch of analytical masculine structures about financial intelligence for spiritual women. So we're going to talk today about a little bit about the stock market, crypto, financial intelligence, what's going on, and how we're going to shift these years in the world with our finances. So I'm super excited for this episode because we both have strong placements in terms of finances, and also like this balance between being analytical and highly intuitive in this area. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm sorry, I didn't tell you before I got divorced and I switched my name to Caroline Durina. But just a side note. Yes, I'm so happy that we're going to talk about finances, which is so important for us women. And the first thing I thought would be so important to know and to listen to is, why is it so hard for women to really be in a good place with finances, with money, with a business, with evolving a business, and with receiving money? And that's quite simple, because women and finances, that's a strange thing and a strange story. We've always been separated. We've been separated by law. For example, in Germany, the 23rd of May, 1949, women started to be allowed to open a bank account, but only with their husbands at their sides. It was in 1994. It's only 61 years. No, not 61 years. It's 60. I can't count. 63 already. Only this small amount of time has passed since we as women are allowed to have a bank account. And it was in 1962 that the first German woman opened up her first bank account. So that's nothing. That's no time. No time has passed. And we're not just, as women, we're not used to dealing with money and to have to allow ourselves to really have a lot of money in our bank accounts, to invest money, to be strategic about money, to grow our intuition, which is basically, and there are many studies have shown that women are the better investors because of their intuition and because of their patience. They don't have that much cholesterol. No, it's
testosterone.
But I thought of which is cortisol. Like the amounts of cortisol and the testosterone together make that men basically take bad decisions concerning money and money decisions at the stock markets or with crypto or with trading. And women, as they have lower testosterone and cortisol levels, they are a lot more patient and like slowing down things, and that's very good. So the time has passed that we as women are allowed to work, to have a job, at least in the Western countries, and we're still evolving with money and with finances, and everything is quite new. That's no time frame at all. And we just don't have much experience with handling money and finances, and above all, being and dealing with big and huge amounts of money, and allow it and give it to ourselves. And that's the starting point. That's where we have to look at and allow ourselves, again, allow to receive the money and to be with the money. And the funny thing is, if we compare these dates, or this date, 1949 in Germany, to other dates, women, at least in Europe, were allowed to do other things before they were allowed to deal with money. For example, 1901, women already were allowed to drive cars. You know, the first Mercedes-Benz cars. 1918, women were allowed to vote in Germany. And since 1903, at least in Bavaria, women were accepted to study at university. But it was in 1949 or 1962 when the first bank account was opened up by a woman. And history always shows the cycles. And we are, as women, opening up a new cycle nowadays. Things have changed a lot. And we see more and more wealthy women right now, which is good because it's a good cycle we're in. And what we have what is our job now is to grow not only the financial intuition or to awaken financial intuition, but to grow our financial intelligence, because one of them can't be with the other one. They are twins, like one on the one side and the other one on the other side. And we have to be with both. And we're not used to dealing with large amounts of money. We're not used to use our financial intelligence or to grow it. And we're not used to rely on our financial intuition because we're used to listen to our analytical mind.
Oh, that's like, I really have a feeling that with this podcast, we have a chance to get so much awareness to men and women in the world, and with this episode to unite with their inner forces, like their inner masculine and inner feminine energies. And to me, it's like a feminism, or let's say humanism, is just such an important aspect, because in the world we see so much oppression and injustice happening, especially towards women, like, or ethnical groups, but here in this case women. And Germany, just like if I have an historical opinion, like a viewpoint, is very far. I mean, it took so much longer in Italy and our European states to actually bring more equality to the woman. And like, something sad but actually happened, and what I see like a line is the war, like the First World War and the Second World War. There was basically no men. So, and women needed to step in the roles of men. They needed to start building the streets, building the houses, taking care for their children, and like filling the spaces and the fabrics. So this is what actually happened. So women needed to replace the man in the war. And me, myself, I come from a generation of women, and we went through wars. And like, I'm from Russia, and when the Bolsheviki took over, they did their part with some families. And I come from this lineage of women who needed to escape and run away, and who also went into the battlefront. So, and they needed to build their houses, they needed to build their streets. There was no man to sustain them. But until today, I don't see equality in Russia in terms of this. So to me, sadly, it's a country where it's so much sexism and so much gender roles. So it's like this, I don't know, is it a hypocrisy where I observe these topics in my country? Or is it like this, I don't know, like maybe we're gonna clear it up, what's this? But in terms of the evolution of the woman in Europe, I feel that there was like I don't want to call it benefit because something horrific happened, but it definitely made them step out and to shift into equality and becoming equal in a way.
Yeah, definitely. That was a huge, huge step into a new kind of evolution for women. But the administration of finances, also during war has always been in the hands of men.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing, if you take a look at the banks, it has always been in the hands of men, also during the war. Of course, women had to look for the money and how to get some food and everything and rebuild the homes during war and after war. But the huge amounts of money have always stayed in the hands of men, at least since historical data has been written down. But my question is, or always has been, why has it been like that? Why has money been in the hands of man? Has it always been like that? We only know since like we have books and since it's written down, but has there ever been a time with some kind of money, like in natural form, where women had been responsible for it? That's just like something I want to throw in. We don't have any answer for that. And my question is, how would it be the other way around? And it's not about a battle between men and women, between masculine and feminine. It's finding balance within. It's about finding balance within us, within the masculine and feminine parts towards finances. But it's also the balance, because I don't see any balance. Neither do I see it in Greece, in Italy, in Germany, in the US. It's still, we try to fix the old role models concerning finances. The man is working, he brings the money home, the woman works a little bit. And the funny thing is, I have friends, maybe you too, where women earn more than men. And most of the men can't deal with it. I was having the same situation. I met a man and he was like feeling so inferior because I earned more money than him. And this was such a strange situation. I was standing there and thinking, I would be proud of you. And you tell me that you feel bad that I earn more than you? That's crazy. And it's about a really, really very, very sensitive, awakened man who can deal with that. At least I have the impression. And that's where I think we have to find some kind of new balance, a new way. Finances and relationships, finances, yin and yang, men and women, masculine and feminine. And it's not about a conquering situation. It's like equalizing the envy that's sometimes also within. And it's about building a new perspective and a new world together, men and women. At least that's my experience with it. I don't know. How about you? What do you think about that?
It was so funny because before I was having a podcast and an interview, we spoke also about a similar thing. And in my dating life, I also had partners who struggled so much that I earned more money than them. And now my husband is basically like, he's so happy. When I bring him this example, he looks at me like a lunatic, like, how come? I don't get it. That's so amazing that you earn more money than me. That's so funny, because for the first time in my life, I met a man who doesn't feel like, I don't know, less worth or whatever. He's like, it's amazing. I cannot understand how a man can deal with it different. And I told him, like, hey, it's a fact. Like 90% of my clients have these limiting beliefs towards money or towards success, that they are scared of being more successful than their boyfriends, husbands, because there's some drama coming around. And there's even some statistics or studies an Australian study brought up that women who in relationships who earn more money than their partners become abusive, like even like violent towards them, in order to deal with their lack of self-worth, or I don't know what it is. They are definitely trying to compensate it in a very shallow way. So yeah, and also in my culture, like when I have a look into Russia, it's like in our beliefs, like even if a woman is rich, she's gonna spend the money of her husband. And because you mentioned the approach is ever women were like in charge, so there, like on my shamanic studies, I also dove a little bit into how the indigenous people, for example, in Siberia, like in Russia, are dealing with it. And we have this strong sense of shamanism. And we have like around 100 ethnical groups and with their own medicine, own languages, and so on. And actually, the term shamanism does come from Russia, from the Sami people. And yeah, basically, in their belief, the woman is like she's the elder. And like when we go actually into this indigenous community, I just have this case right now with the communities in Russia, where it's actually said if the woman is taken care of and if she's in alignment, she brings the prosperity to the whole tribe. So she's basically kind of the chief of everything. And also like with the resources. So they don't have money, but they have like animals and they have furs and food and other stuff, like handy stuff. So yeah, this is what I know from the indigenous people, that there is like a very strong point. And in our communities, in this indigenous, there's no separation like who can be a shaman. So it's, even if we go to like South America, the curanderas, the women are the keepers and the men. So there's no separation, that it's just like for men allowed to be in this higher role. So it's men and women.
That's beautiful. The Russian shamanism is so fascinating. That's great. Good to know. Yeah, and if you ask yourself, what would it be like if women were the ministers, the advisors for finances or within the governments, what would be different then?
I know what would be different. We would keep our resources, the money, to maintain and provide life.
Yeah, point. And maybe we wouldn't be in debt. That's one thing I thought about, because the first time, I can't remember which year it was, but the topic of finances is really like it has accompanied me for years. I don't know, about 12 years, very, very closely. Because when I ended up my studies at university, I was so much in shock that I had to take care of my money and my finances and my taxes, that I said to myself, okay, you're going to step up and you're going to learn everything about it. And when I do something, I do it quickly. And I want the numbers and I want to do it correctly. And the topic with the debt has really shocked me when I saw, because there's a debt clock. You can take a look at it on the internet. And as you already said or announced, I brought some numbers. And for example, I brought the debt numbers for the US and for Germany. So right now we are in the US at 33.6 trillion US dollars debt, the state. In Germany, we're at 2.5 trillion euros debt. That means like every German citizen has, from the beginning on, from the moment of the birth on, 30,186 euros debt without doing anything, just being born. You have this debt on your back. In the US, it's 101,369 US dollars per child that is born. This is crazy. And when I realized, okay, I mean, we're completely traumatized by the fear of debt, I think. We're traumatized by money, basically. And when you imagine that you are born, you have done nothing, your soul has decided to come to this planet, and you are born, And imagine there would be like a financial advisor that steps up to the bed of your parents and to you and tells you, okay, you have 30,000 euros debt right now from the moment on you're born. This is a crazy picture. This is crazy. And no wonder that men and women, most of them really have a problem with money, because it's everywhere. It surrounds us and we have to switch it. We have to turn around. We have to turn around the energy. And also, if you take a look at the charts where we rank as a nation, like Germany is on rank 70 of the debt rank. Portugal, you live in Portugal, is on rank 11. Greece is on rank 5, like one of the most of the countries being most in debt. Japan is on rank 1. Luxembourg is on rank 171. I think we have 195 ranks. And the US is on rank 13. So most of the countries are really badly in debt. And what does that mean for our financial system as we talk more or go deeper into analyzing the actual state? Like we have the part when we deal with money and finances and investments, we have to take a close look at our own energy and how we deal with it, our intuition, our traumas with money, our wounds, our nervous system. But we also have to take a look at the numbers, at the charts, at the analytics. And here it is. When we take a look at it, we see that the whole world, planet Earth, is in debt. All those huge, big industrial nations are in deep debt. Our money system from 1971 on, when the gold standard was given up, the countries have switched into debt because there's nothing that stands against printing money. There's nothing, no kind of having something that is worth something for just paper money, the fiat money, the money that is just printed paper or printed on paper. And this system, like many even say that the system is corrupt, the system is going to crash. Nobody knows if it's really going to crash, but that's the world we live in right now. And we can choose, either we fight against it, or we try to control it, or we surrender and we choose new ways of seeing it and find new paths of maybe creating some kind of new world. That's why you step in with the new earth. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel a change is coming, because how it was going so far, it's not working. We are seeing that it's not working. It's like where we have this opportunity, like, yeah, okay, we can try to hold on with old paradigm, and maybe the governments will try to maintain it. But at some point, especially when 2027 is coming and where incarnation cross of the earth is changing, and so many prophecies have been predicted this time of 2012, 2020, and now 2027, and there's going to be a change. We don't know it yet. And when I try to connect myself with the consciousness of money, with this etheric field in the Akasha Chronicles, I don't see what's going to happen. I just see a lot of different timelines of opportunities, what can maybe come in. And it's just my personal intuition speaking. How can the future of our economy and the new money look like? It's, for example, it's just like some ideas to throw here, and you can tune in. That there's not going to be so much currencies. It's step number one. Like, there's gonna be maybe from this 200 what we have, there's gonna be 10, maybe. It's a huge maybe. It's just like I'm just trying to imagine what could be the possibilities in a new world with economy and money. And then something maybe like gold will be, or properties, real estate, crypto can come in as to balance it out. And trading services will be very common. And especially because if we are not changing things right now, like maybe by 2050, water will be more worth than gold, or food will be more worth than gold. We don't know. It's now on us. Now it's our calling. We are the last generation who feels the effects of the world, and who can actually make something, still make a difference in order to survive, to our species, more or less. So I see this different timelines, how it can change. And I see a big shift in the consciousness that a lot of people are waking up, and especially women reclaim, but also men. I actually, like, even if it's like by the society said like, oh, men can deal better with money or whatever, I don't think it's true. I actually like don't agree with it at all. It's just more common that men are taking responsibility over the money. But if I work with my clients and their like past lives, there's so much of like, basic example, we go into a lifetime, like in a past reincarnation, we try to heal a trauma with money, or we're receiving wound or something, and there's this timeline where the woman somewhere in the middle age is married, pregnant with like I don't know how many kids, and her husband, who's working and supposed to bring the money home to in order to feed the children, goes gambling or goes drinking, and there's no money left, but she also cannot leave him. And this wound is imprinted in our Akashic memory and also in our collective memory. And this is what we are trying to deal with. So now the women who are actually reclaiming this path of, I am willing to change my way with finances and build wealth, build generational wealth. And they are facing these topics. And this is really important for us to reclaim this way. And sometimes it triggers the shit out of me when I listen to women saying like, I cannot deal with money, or the same, like maybe they can deal with money, but now I cannot deal with crypto. I want someone like, oh, my boyfriend should take care of it. And it's exactly the same pattern, like as we don't want to open our bank accounts without the permission of our partner, husband, like back in the 62. Like, what the heck? Like, it's the same. It's the money energy is the same. And to me personally, this is also what I really, really feel strong, that money already, like the term money and this old energy of money already died out. It's dead. Like, and we are trying to heal a relationship with something which is already dead, money. So, and this is the evolution of money, because we started with trading sheep for gold. We started to have gold. We started to have the printed money and so on and so on. And now we just have a credit card with a bazillion numbers. So this evolution already happened, and there's gonna come a new currency. And I even feel that we spiritual women or spiritual men who are here and talking about money, there has to be a new wording for that frequency, for that exchange. I call it sacred exchange. It's like equal as money, but in a new world, like sacred exchange. And obviously, like, the wounds are, even if money is already dead, the wounds around money are still affecting us. And they might even affect us in a new world until we fully heal it. We embrace our creative force, where we are God, goddess, creators of our world, and we heal it. So, because there's no more witch hunts, at least not in our Europe, but we still have wounds from the witch hunts. So, and it's the same dynamic with money. There will be one day a new currency, but we will still have the pain from money. So it's like my channelings from the Akashic records, what I receive, how it can possibly change, but it's really on us if we're gonna do the work.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I see it's so funny because you're talking about the energy, and I see so many teachers, coaches, mentors out there that are still talking only about the mindset. And I have to laugh so badly because no, it's not about the mindset. And they say you have to see money as something neutral. The problem is we can't take a look at it in a way of neutrality because it's emotional. Everything we're surrounded with, if it's our bed, our sofa, the books we have, has an emotional imprint because it's part of our lives. As soon as we have some kind of relationship towards something, we have emotions. So we have to take a close look at the emotions and what it does to our nervous system, what kind of small or bigger traumas have been imprinted in our life or in the ancestral lines. And my goal always is to activate all senses for money, because we are sensing people. We have to use our senses, and we stopped using them to surround ourselves with money in a very healthy and active way, with very healthy and active senses. And wealth work, like mainly I call it wealth work, can be divided like into two main areas. One is about the energy. It's about clearing the energy. It's setting up your inner physical frame, because also our physical bodies, our energy, our frequency. When we deal with money and with finances, we have to work on our breathing patterns. Like I have studied classical singing and breathing. And now I know why I did that, because I've been asking myself, why did you do that? You're not working with it anymore. I do every single day, because if we know how we breathe and how to prevent ourselves from stopping breathing, as we do every day, all of us do that, and get back into a natural breathing cycle, you can deal with your finances. If you take a look at your bank account and it has been in minus, you stop breathing because you're shocked. Every time we're shocked or we're in a trauma, we stop breathing. And we're so traumatized by money, so we have to take a look at our breathing patterns and resolve them. You have to deal with your emotions towards money, with the reactions of your nervous system. You have to learn how to calm down inside with money. And if you do that, then, because women and men always ask me, but how am I going to step up and deal with money? And I say, you have to clear up from the inside. You have to clean your money house inside, your inner frame or outer frame and everything. And then you can do the practical steps. And that's the other part, the practical part of money, the strategies, the analysis. You can take a look if you want to go into crypto trading or stock market trading, you can set up new accounts, you can learn about growth, you can build your own diversified portfolio, you learn how to invest like nowadays, and you have to deal with both of them. And then there's the beautiful thing you said, how you see money in the future. And before we started this podcast, we were talking quickly, and I told you that the programming of our grid is not there yet. Like the programming of the world of finances and money is only up until 2026, 2027, and what's coming afterwards is not programmed yet. So that's maybe the metaphysical part if we take a look at money in the grid we live in, because we're all interconnected and we live in some kind of a grid. And if you take a look at that, it's clear that we can see in the Akashic records how money will be like, how we're going to deal with it. And that's beautiful, because that's a huge chance to come up with something new and to surrender towards. And that's the switch. And I love the term sacred exchange because it has both sides. It's not only in one direction. And when we have a sacred exchange, whatever it will look like, we are able to go into the yin part, to receive and to surrender towards money. When we talk about money, we always have the impression, I have to take action. I have to be the active part. No, there's both of it. There's the active and the passive part. If you invest into Bitcoin, or if you invest into a good share and you hold it, you just keep it, and you keep it for 20 years, you have to be passive. If you trade crypto or at the stock market, then you have to be active. That's the young part, but we always have both of it. And that's so beautiful. And all our thoughts, all our thinking, all our feeling has to take a switch. Sometimes when people ask me something about mindset, about like money sentences or patterns, I always tell them, and that's so beautiful because you're Russian. If you take a look at the matryoshka, I always say like the biggest matryoshka, that's mindset. But we want to dive deep and dig out the smallest, the beautiful little matryoshka that's inside. And that's all the work you have to go through. And it's not hard work, it's beautiful work. Because I've seen women, when we are in my mastermind or like one-on-one work with money and investing in finances, like themes and topics and traumas come up we had never thought of before, and that these traumas are related to money, as like wounds from other lives or from the ancestral line, but also within this life. And it's such a huge work, and I just love it. And we have, let's deal with the smallest matryoshka inside. Mm-hmm. And that's why we can also change the world. If we work on ourselves, on our energy, we already change the world.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. And for the listeners here, just a little attention here. Caro does work also with Akashic Chronicles. So she's a psychic medium and has her own unique healing abilities. So when we are talking here about how we see the grid or the Akashic Records, so you know, just like for your information, and also because it was like coming through to give you a little explanation about the grid. And basically there's like, I can give first my interpretation of it, and then you can, maybe if you have a different opinion, you can share yours. So we have a crystalline network in our Mother Earth. So it was built already like with the help of some aliens, let's say like this, and some priestess energy, but it already started back in Lemuria. And this crystalline grid is basically our network to connect with the cosmic Akashic records. So it has all the information what happened here on Earth, but to a certain point. So when we really want to go outside in the cosmic consciousness, we are connecting to different libraries. And this network, it's called the Kristallgitter, the crystalline network, the grid work of the Earth. And it has also two balances. It has the masculine and the feminine. So the crystalline network and the goddess network, and they both meld together at this consciousness versus also which comes close to the morphic field. So when we work, the morphic field is connected to the Akasha, it's connected to Earth, but it's more like a shamanic approach, I would say, to connect with the multidimensional realms, because at some point the people in Lemuria and Atlantis, they knew that it will be easier for us right now in the world to connect with the Earth than actually with the 5, 7, and 12D on whatever dimensions we have. So this is why they basically put this information into the Earth. Long story short, I tried to.
That's a beautiful explanation. Yeah, I can't really add anything. Only the funny thing is that sometimes the grid is shown to me. No, it's not funny. It's clear in like black energy and sometimes in white energy. And I think it represents the female and masculine energy that is within. And maybe just that the listeners know that every one of us who chose to be on Earth right now has some kind of challenge within the grid, and some kind, it's not only one challenge or one theme. And there's also, yeah, some kind of problem that each and every one of us has to solve, not specifically concerning money, but concerning our lives. But that's just apart from that. But that's like the energy part or the metaphysical part. And still we live in this earth and we have to deal also with the actual situation. You remember in the beginning of the year, we had like huge amounts of inflation, and the experts, they are fighting if it's like, if we are in a recession, if it's an inflation, if it's a stagflation. A stagflation means that economy and the money politics are like on zero. They are frozen, which is really bad also for economy. And I have the impression that many people right now are in freeze mode. They don't dare really either to invest, or they start to sell their houses out of fear. And I just want to give you the feeling, and it sounds so simple, but it is like that we have to calm down, that everything will be fine, everything will be good, but you have to take care. That's the thing you have to do, really, to take a look at your financial situation very closely, very practically, and then do the steps. One thing I really want is that we as women, especially as women, that we don't end up with nothing in our hands financially, that we prepare, that we take those upcoming 3 to 4 years to invest wisely, to build a portfolio, and to stand up and be the bridge into the future, be the money bridge into the future, because we as women have to be strong. Men nowadays, most of the men are weakening, not awakening, but weakening down. And that's why it's our task right into the future to be the bridge. And it's our task to be quite strategic about money. And most of the women I know or that ask for my help are telling me, I don't know how, I don't know what to do, I'm afraid, I have blocks, I want to, but every time I try to, I can't. And we have to work on those patterns and overcome them. And this heals also, if we move back into the energy topic, it heals the energy and the grid of the world when we as women take care of money, take care of our finances. And I think if we take a look into the future, like already now, people are looking for new ways of living together, new ways of nutrition, new ways of building homes, new ways of sustainability, new ways of, as we see in crypto and many cryptocurrencies, new ways of money. And if we take care, we as women, of our finances, we are the creators of this new way of living, of this new kind of future, of this new kind of money. And this is really something beautiful.
I cannot wait to witness it.
Yeah. And one thing is quite important, because almost no one is talking about that. Money has to do, besides breathing, besides all the trauma, emotional work has to do with our hearts. I see that people in general close up their hearts and their heart energy and their heart field when it comes to money. Because I think we are adapting this kind of energy from our parents, from our teachers, from the people that surround us, that when it comes to money and finances, we can't broaden our energy. We're not allowed to open up our heart field. And we start to be very strict. And if you take a look at the heart chakra, it doesn't really spin and move the way it could and it should when it comes to money. And this is a very, very, very important thing we have to learn to feel. And it's so simple. If you have your purse and you open it and you grab the money and you pay something, just in that second, in that moment, feel your heart energy. What is it doing? Is it opening up or is it closing down? If you take a look at your bank account, not only how is your breathing, but what is it about your heart field? Is it widening? Is it opening? Or is there a stop within the energy that comes out of your heart? And with all those little small steps, we are learning a new way of how to be with money. And that's so important. And I think these are the columns we are setting for the future, those little steps, not the big ones. And now we have to breathe again, breathe through the money. And yeah, I'm also very curious what's coming up in the future for us.
Mm. So when you were speaking about the heart center, it was coming through really like, okay, but most of us are associating spending money or investing money is something like, okay, I'm giving away and I have a lack. So when we shift into the consciousness of actually sacred exchange, we know where we are exchanging energies. So it goes both ways, yin and yang, and both is the receiver. So, and to me, and this is where we go also about pricing or price points, spending, investing. We are investing in ourselves. We are buying something for us, even if it's like a nail polish. Yeah, you're buying something for yourself in order for you to feel to pleasure or to have fun and something what brings you joy. So you're receiving already something. It's not that you are lacking something. And when we speak about personal development, you are not investing in the coach, you're investing in yourself. And money is this exchange. When we honor this transaction of energy, which is what money is, it's just an energy that wants to flow. It doesn't want to be stagnant. Obviously, if we keep it like for 20 years as a Bitcoin or something, it is a passive, but at some point you're going to do something with it. So this is where the masculine shift comes back in. But a transaction is a sacred exchange of energy. And we put money as a term for, okay, this is the value. You shift into one direction, for example, to the coach, and then the coach gives you back so much more, so much actually more than money can describe. Because to me personally, like there's like two things what we take into our grave, and for me it was always tattoos. Like what is in your body, like because you cannot take your car in to your funeral, you cannot take your house, nothing. It's the only thing, like it's what's on your skin and what's inside of you, like your heart, your heart intelligence, your emotional intelligence, your mind's your mental health, like how you feel is the most precious thing. So this is the energy of a sacred exchange. You are also receiving something back. And when I'm just thinking about all the investments I have done, and I'm talking it in a term of investment because it made me feel so much better. It was into my healers, into my shamanic journeys. And I was like, wow, I could buy a house with all this money if I didn't do it, but I would never in my life want to feel like I did 10 years ago. Like, please take all my money, make me feel the way I feel today. So,
Yeah.
and also this detachment around it. So, for example, I have the 6th line in the Pearl sequence, and this is basically your spiritual relationship with money, what money really matters to you. Do you know your line, by the way, in your Pearl?
Yes, I'm having a 6-2, and I'm
Ooh,
having the quantum pearl is the super abundance.
oh, Jesus, super
Yeah.
juicy. Like the code, the key of abundance, prosperity has been already imprinted into the universe since forever. We just disconnected ourselves from it. And the 6th line in the Pearl is the most mystical, and it is translated basically more or less with the 6th line sees a future without money.
Yeah.
So I do not agree with this totally, like, because here on earth we came together to exchange energies. So something similar to money, and I call it sacred exchange, so it's the high evolution, will always remain. Because if we do not compensate each other both ways for this exchange happening, there's going to be a leak and there's going to be karma. We are creating it. So this is why money plays such an important role as a trading form. So obviously, if you receive a service, you can give back a thank you. This is already valid. You can give back a bag of potatoes. This is already a sort of payment. We are not talking here of you need to pay 10K into a coach. So, but just like simple gestures is already an exchange both ways. We are basically literally just saying thank you for your service. I appreciate it. It landed. So, and this energy has always been, is currently right now, and it will always remain. The energy will shift, the approach will shift, maybe even the currency will shift, but it's not true that there will be a future without money. So there will be something else.
Yeah, definitely. There will be something else, and we'll see. And the interesting thing, the whole time as you were talking right now, it was like there was so much movement in the energy, and we have to think of the frequency once in waves. I mean, frequency as a sound frequency, money, like everything in our world, if it's a book, it's a stone, it's a plant, it's a human body, has a frequency, an own frequency. And frequency is shown like in a chart is shown as a wave-like motion. But frequency also moves in circles. And money and the exchange of money is a cyclic movement. Like you give something, you receive something. And this pattern or this way of thinking is completely broken down, and we have to get back there. And if we get back there, something is healing inside of us. And I think that's also the way into the future, and how we deal with money, how we treat money, how we touch money, like this sensual thing about money. And yeah, can ask ourselves, how do we feel ourselves with money? How does it feel like? Does it feel good or bad? How does our body feel the money? Those really simple things. And then finances and money becomes our medicine, which is so important. It's not about like something neutral, as I said. Money and finances, if it's a bag of apples or if it's a piece of gold, but these things will never be neutral, but they can be our medicine in a way. And if we go back to investing huge amounts of money, the most interesting thing is about that our physical bodies and our energetic bodies are not used, like the imprint for many people is not there yet for huge amounts of money. So we can deal with that and play and teach our nervous system to calm down so that we are able to receive larger amounts of money. And this is so important for investing. Why is that? If we invest into a cryptocurrency, if we invest or if we trade shares at the stock market, we have to learn and understand that the growth is exponential. It's not linear. Linear growth is you buy something and you get something, and you pay more and you get a little bit more. But exponential growth is a line that goes from left to right, but straight up, almost in the air directly. And this kind of exponential growth and exponential intelligence and exponential thinking, we're not used to it. For me, this has a lot to do with energy work, because we have to put the imprint into our physical bodies, into our energetic bodies, that exponential growth is possible, that it's reachable for us. And that's a whole new kind or whole new way of feeling and being with money if we take a closer look at it in the exponential way.
Love the transmission. So nice. I was tuning in, like, okay, what else is important to mention today? And it comes through like a little bit into investing, into crypto. So how do you see it? Because I know that you are doing a lot of crypto awareness. Like, one of your missions is to help women to take back their power and actually like to step into this. Okay, what is crypto actually? How does it work? So maybe you can share something in that case.
Yeah, of course. I think just to combine things, I think for the listeners, it would be important to maybe have a perspective. How can I invest wisely nowadays? I mean, I can't go into the details, but like the main strategy. And crypto is one column. We have like basic columns, and crypto is one of that. Never invest in one asset, like in one thing. Never. Only in one thing. That's not wise to do, because if there's a crypto crash, for example, you lose everything and you have to wait years and years until it goes up. Or you lose everything, as we have seen last year with Terra Luna, the crypto coin, and it's over, like it doesn't exist anymore. And at the crypto market, you have to understand that there's like the original Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency and is based on the blockchain technology. The blockchain technology is like a book, or we have a combination of many distributed computers on the whole world, and it's also a grid. It's some kind of net. They work together, and the blockchain is divided up, or every computer has this blockchain downloaded. And within the blockchain, there are codes, a combination of numbers and letters, which show or which are set up for every transaction that is made for Bitcoin. And the block, one block, is built when all the transactions that belong to this block are within the block, and then the next block is built or is decrypted. And then the two blocks are chained together. That's why it's called blockchain. And the whole technology, like, it takes quite some time to understand it, but these are the basics. So Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency. After that came Ethereum, ETH, like the exchange name is ETH. And Ethereum has a whole different network and is basically there for smart contracts, so that you can put something into the blockchain. It's not a money system and money exchange system, but it's for applications. For example, you have a contract for your apartment, like you're renting your apartment, and the contract exists only on the blockchain, and therefore Ethereum has a different kind of task within. Many other cryptocurrencies. I don't know how many we have nowadays. I didn't look it up those days, but it's so many. It exploded in 2022. There was like a completely crypto revolution, also because of the NFT market, the non-fungible token. And we have to learn and to accept that many of those cryptocurrencies that were built, because it's very easy to build a crypto or to program a cryptocurrency, and it makes sense only with an application, like if it has a task built within. And many of those cryptocurrencies will die, as you said too. There won't be existing within the next 10 years thousands of cryptocurrencies, but it will go down. That's at least the prediction. It will go down to a few. And so investing into crypto has to be done very wisely. It's very important to not only buy something because your friend told you to buy it, but to really at least read about it, to take advice of someone who's really into crypto, and maybe only to buy 1 or 2 currencies. So crypto is one column. The other one is, of course, traditionally investing into the stock market. Also there, if you want to invest into the stock market, you don't take any share that is out there, but you take a closer look. And I have spent so much time on understanding the stock market, and the question I had within me, or I was carrying within me, was, how do I know which shares to invest into? What are the parameters to know which one is really a good one? And it took me many years to know what are the good ones. But basically, the one main thing is exponential growth. The shares at the stock markets in general that grow exponentially are the good ones. But please don't go out there and buy anything. Also here, inform yourself. One other column is physical gold and physical silver, for example. Like to have some of the money, because we don't know what's happening. Some of the financial experts, they are saying the crash will come, and they have been saying this or predicting this for the past 5 years. It hasn't come yet, but we're still printing money and printing money and printing money in the central banks. So we don't know what's happening. So it's always good to have some of your money in physical gold or silver. And that's also good to have. Many people throughout the world are also still investing into ETFs, like exchange traded funds, who are representing the indexes. They are not shares, but they are like some indexes put together, for example, the MSCI World, and you can set up plans with investing this way. Those are the easy steps. If you want to grow your money more quickly, you just go and learn crypto trading or trading at the stock markets, as I said before. This is only a quick look at what's up today, and it's not revolutionary. It's not something where you say, "Wow, I have never heard of that." But I want to share those practical steps, and I want to, like, I'm a woman that really stands for taking the time, getting into the markets, and knowing my way around, because I want to be wise and intelligent about finances. And I want to motivate other women to do the same. And when I can do that, it's possible for anyone out there.
Probably we will be even better in it because we are more patient.
Yes, of course we are.
And less ego-driven, I would say. We are like already have this, okay, how to preserve life. This is something very, very feminine, like and in my world, if more women would be in governments, there would be for sure less war. There would be actually like this, okay, how can we actually create a healthcare system which prevents people from getting sick, instead of like waiting until they're sick and seeing how we're going to treat them and who's going to pay for it. So how to preserve life is a very feminine energy.
Yeah.
Obviously in men as well, but I think like a being who gives birth to life has it already embedded in their essence.
Definitely.
I mean, you're a mother yourself, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So it's a feeling, it's a calling. Okay, let me tune in if there's any more transmissions. No, like from my side, it's everything perfect. If you have any final thoughts for our community, you're welcome to share.
Yeah. For me too, I feel complete, and that's beautiful. And I have one word which I always use describing your inner path into finances, and that is bravery. Be brave and fearless. There's so much fear around nowadays because we don't know what will come up, and we don't know if the crash is coming, or if they print more money, or if it stays the same. It doesn't matter. Just find the peace within and be brave. Be brave for yourself and for the vision you have for this world and for your life, especially. Fearless and brave. That's it.
I love it. Thank you so much for your wisdom drops and for empowering the listeners to take their financial intelligence into their own hands. I appreciated this call so much. Like, I loved talking about finances. So yeah, thank you to the listeners, and see you soon.